Okay. Till now, we learned these topics in React, like what is React, why React, installation, folder structure, what is JSX, components, keys, props, state, conditional rendering, control and controller components, how to communicate between the parent to child and child to parent, props drilling, use context. So these topics I covered right till now. No, so in today's topic, I will explain one important topic. This is the most important. As per the task, if any most of the work in the React on only on this work, that is only on this task, that is how to fetch the data from an API in React. How to fetch the data from an React. So how to fetch the data from an API in React. Before starting that, here I will explain the what is the API. What is the meaning of the API? Let's see. So you people already know this is our, for example, let's see, this is our front end. I mean, client. In the browser, we are getting the, this is the client. Okay, this is the client, right? Mm, this is the client. Okay. Client means our browser. So we are opening our application to the browser. Okay. For this application, so we have so many components, right? We have multiple components, like so many components, and then we have a web page. In the web page, we have components, right? We have different type of the components. Now, so generally, the client means front end. Client means front end means only we are designing the HTML. So in the application means two things. One is the design, that means view plus data. View plus data is the an application. So we have some data. The data we are showing in the different formats using the view in the client side. So using front end technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, and Angular, we are showing the different types of the views along with the data. So here data is coming from the server. So here we have server. Server means it is a server at backend. So this is the server. This is a server, right? So for example, so for this is our view, our front end part. So this data is coming from the outside of our application. Outside of our application. For example, this is React application. Data is not here. Till now we are maintaining only static data, right? So the data is not come here. Data is coming from the server. Data is coming from the server. So data is coming from the server. So for to send the data from the server provides one API. Okay. So one API. So API means application program interface. Application program interface. So to get the, that means, for example, we have backend server. To get the data from the application, we have an interface. We need to create one interface. That is the API. So that means this server provides one API. So from using that API, we will get the data from the server. Okay. So API means application. So if you, for example, we have the cricket score. Okay. So we can see the cricket score in the cricket info, ESP info, different websites. We can see the cricket info. But all the websites, the data is same. That means the data is coming from only one application, only one server. Okay, only one source. So these are those. So all the cricket information maintained by them only by one server. They are providing the APIs to get the data. So all other website using that APIs and showing the data. Okay, and then మనకి క్రికెట్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్, రైల్వే ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇవన్నీ ఒక సర్వర్ దగ్గర మెయింటైన్ చేయబడతాయి. ఒకళ్ళే మెయింటైన్ చేస్తారు. వాళ్ళు ఒక ఏపీఐ ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తారు. ఆ ఏపీఐ యూజ్ చేసుకొని డిఫరెంట్ వేరే వేరే వెబ్సైట్ వాళ్ళు యూజ్ చేసుకుంటారు. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ వీ హ్యావ్ బస్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్. ఓకే, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఐ వాంట్ బస్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్. సో వీ కెన్ బుక్ ద బస్ ఇన్ ద రెడ్ బస్ or Abibus or APSRTC. But the thing is, all the bus information same. That means all the bus information maintained by only one server. they're providing one API. Using API, using the API, we can get the data from the server. Okay. So now you have you get the clarity what is the interface, what is the API. So server provides one API. Using that API, we can get the data from the server. So you people clear, right? What is the server means? API means clear, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. No. So then what is the API? So what is the API? Is API is application program based. So to use one API, we need to follow the 4 steps. What is that? I will explain. For example, one server provides one API. Okay. So that means if you want to use that API, we need to check these 4 things. One is what is the URL? What is the API URL to get the data? So for different types of data, they have different URLs. What is the API URL to get the data? Next thing. Next, what is the method? Method means you can get or post or put or delete. Okay. So API provides one URL. Using that URL, you need to provide one method. So we need to get the data. We need to posting the data, or if we are updating data, we are deleting data. So if you provide one API URL, we need to check what is the URL, what is the method, and how. If any request, we need to send. If any request we need to send. What is the format? Request data format. For example, I want to bus of information from Chennai to Bangalore. So for that one, we need to send some request data to that URL. Then only they will give the response. But some API was we don't need the we don't need to send anything. Automatically, if we call the URL, automatically the data will call. Okay. So sometimes we need to send some request data. So this is also called payload. Next, how response will come in. So once we call the API, if any request data is passing, we are getting request. How request response data, response data. Along this, we need to check the headers. The headers information along with the API URL, we need to pass some API, some headers, send some header information also to call the API. Okay. So that means these 5 things are most important. For example, our backend developer or of any server providing an API. Okay. If you're providing an API, we need to test these things. What is the URL? What is the URL? What is the method? What is the if we need to send any request data? What is the payload format? Payload means request data. Okay. How response will come? How response is coming? Then we need to send, and also we need to send any headers. We need to send any headers along with the API. These 5 things you need to check. So backend developers providing the APIs. Okay. So we need to check. We need to check with them what is the URL, what is the request. And one more thing, if any API URL is there before integrating in our application, so they're giving the API URL. So if before using that API URL into our React core and Angular core, we need to test that API. For that one, we have one API testing tools. API testing tools are there. Those are Postman and Swagger. Most of them use the Postman tool. Some of them use the Swagger. Okay. So backend developer provided one API information. Before using the API, we need to check what is the URL, what is the playlist, what is the method, what is the request data, what is the response data, any headers we need to send. And also, before integrating that API into our application, we need to test that one. So for that one, we have tools, API testing tools like Postman, Swagger. For example, I have a Postman. I install in my system Postman install. Okay. Okay. Now let's see. One some of them providing the one API URL. So for example, Oh, just a minute. Let me check one URL for you. Okay. Okay. So So we have one URL. Okay, we have one URL. So first, so they are providing one URL to get the users data. First, one need to think what is the URL. What is the URL? So this is the URL. So somebody provided some users information. Okay, this is the URL. This is the API URL. Okay, this is the API. So first one need to check what is the URL. Next one is what is the method. We are calling directly. We are calling directly, right? That means that is the get method. Okay. So we have the URL. No, we have the URL. We have the URL, and what is the method? We have the get method. Okay. Now how request data is coming? We don't need to initial request data. So like we don't need, we're not sending any request now. How response data is coming? The response data will coming like this, like this. Okay. So we need to pass any header. We don't need to send the any headers. No. So this is the API information. They provide the API information. This is the URL. They provide the API information like this is the URL to get the users data. We need to use the get method. We don't send any request data. Response data they will provide it. Now we need to test that API call in the Postman. Okay. Now go to the Postman tool. Let's type here in the Postman tool. Type URL here. Next, select the method. What is the get once of installation on the Postman tool? This is the way how we test. First, type the URL in this box. Next, choose the method get the post. Method is get method. Next, we need to, if you want to pass any request data, we need to pass here. We need to pass here. If you don't need, we don't need to send anyone. For now, for this URL, we don't need to send any request data. If you want to send any request data, then we need to send the request data here. Okay. So URL is first point is URL, second point is method, fourth point is request data. Now you can test. Like run this one and we can test. So this is the data we're getting. Right? So yes, now they provide on the API URL. I tested the API URL. The Postman tool is working fine. I'm getting the data. Now we need to call this API into our React application. How? Okay. So now come to the point how to fetch data from the API. So they provide one API. How to fetch the data from the API in the React. Okay. We have multiple ways, but mainly we have two ways. One is fetch. One is a access. Okay. So using the fetch method, you can get the data from the API in the React, and also using the AngularJS method, we can get the data from the API URL. Okay, let's test. Let's test. Okay, let now open my React application. Okay. Mm. This is the Node.js. I think learning. Yeah. So this is our application, right? So this is our application. Okay. Let's see. Only app comes. There's no nothing. There's no. Just we have div only. Let's check. We have div only. Okay. No. So we need the users data, right? So first you create one state like users. So use the state, use state. Okay. Now we need to get this users data from the API URL. They're providing this URL. Okay, this URL. From this URL, we need to get the data. So what I will do is I will create a button here. Okay. I will show. After click the button, I will call that URL and I will print in the console. Okay. So what I will do, I write a function. Okay. I write the function get users. Okay. Like so, on this one click, right? On click get users. Okay. So I am writing the function get users here. So I write a button. After click the button, I need to call this function. Okay. Okay. Just is let's test this some little test. Npm start. Okay. So just I'll click the button. It'll just print the hi in the console. Okay. Just print the hi in the console. Okay. I've clicked in the button. So in my component, in my app component, I have the button. So if click the button, I call this function. For now, as of now, just printing the hello, hi. Let's see something or not. So I run the number. Okay. So get users. Look here, we need to be the constant. Get users. Okay. Now run the application. So localhost. So console inspect console here. Okay. So if I click the button, I need to print the hi. It's done. It's coming. Now my requirement is if I click the button, I need to get the data from this URL, right? From this URL, we need to get data, and then print in the console. Okay. So for now, what I will do is for that one to get the data from the API URL, I will call the method fetch. Okay, fetch. For the fetch method, pass the what is the URL. What is URL? What is URL? This is the URL, right? So for the fetch, a pass. After fetching, we will get we use the then method. Okay. In then method, we get the response. Okay. We need to convert into JSON this one. Response.json. So that means we use the fetch method, fetch function, and we need to pass what is the API URL. Okay. After that, we call the then method and we need to convert into JSON. After again we call the then method, then we will get the file response. So here we will get the file response. I'm printing in the console. Okay. Let's see. So this is the way how you get the data response. This is the way how we get the data from the API in the React.js. So using the fetch method, we will get the data this way. Using the fetch method, I need to pass the URL. After that, I use the then callback and I need to convert the JSON. After that, again, I call it then callback and I'm printing the response. Let's see. So I'm refreshing. So if you click the button, what I need to do, what I need to print, I need to get the data from the URL. Let's see. I click. I got right response. All these four, all these 10 all these users. So they are providing one API this URL they are providing. If we call this URL, we'll get this data. So how to fetch the data from API URL means using the fetch method. Using the fetch method, I pass that URL and then call back, then response. Okay, this is the way we got the data. Okay, now, so what I told, now server provider an API URL. From that API, using that API URL, using the fetch method, I got the data. Now I got the data. But I need to show the data into the table format or different formats. Okay. So I got the data. I got the data like this. Like this, right? Now I want to show this data into separate table format. Let's see what is the, so they giving the name, phone number, username, website, email, company address, right? Okay. I will show all this user information into table format. In the table format, so I will show the name, phone, email, username, website. How good? Okay. So for that one, what I am doing is I am creating the table. Okay. Next, I create the header, table header, and name, phone. Next, phone. Next, email. Next, website. Okay. I create the tier. Now I need to show the data. From where? From this URL. Once I got the response, then I need to show here. So what I will do is, what I will get the data. Okay. Data I'm setting in this state. So what I'll do is, instead of printing in the console, what I will do is set users. That means after fetching the data from this URL, I'm getting the response, and this response I am putting in the state. Now I have the data in the users. So from this state user, I need to show table. First of all, before I'm getting the data only once I click the button only, right? Only when I click the button only, right? So, but when on the initially, I don't have data. So what I'm showing with, I will show the data when only I have the data in the users. When the users data will set after calling the API URL. So what I will do is only I use conditional rendering. Okay, when only I have the users, and users data is users dot length is greater than 0. That means when only I have the data in users, then only I'm showing this tier. I will show this tier. Okay. Then only I will create the data. So initially I will don't have data. That's okay. Now first when only I have the users and users data have greater than 0, then only I need to show the tier. So after clicking the button, okay, all this data is go to users. So from that users, I need to get and show the table. I already explained how to show the table from the state. I have the state users from the state, and I need to show that I need to create table. So for that one I use users dot map. Okay, users dot map, and I'm looping that one. Every time I get the user. So every time I need to create the one, I need to create the tier. So what I need to show here, every time I get the one every this object is complete one object, second object, third object. So user dot name, user dot phone, user name like that. So what I will do here, user dot name. Okay. Again, user dot email, user dot website. Okay, and user dot phone also, right? So what I did is Initially, I don't have those data. When only I have the use, then only I'm showing and creating this record. Okay. Once I click the button, show data button, I call the URL. From that URL, I got the data. The data I set to into users. So I got the data in the users. From that users, I have the array of the objects. I use the map function. Every time I got the single object. From that object, I'm showing the name, phone, email, website. Let's see, it's working or not. Okay. Set users from around here, set users, right? Set users. Okay, let's see. Okay, I refresh data. Initially, I did not get any record because when all because the initially users data is not there. When I click the button, then only from URL I got the, let's see, show data. It's getting, it's not getting. Why? Let's see, let's print here console dot user, console dot log of users. Well, okay. Actually, there is a concept called use effect. I will tell you what is a use effect later. Okay. Use effect means I will tell you about the use effect later. Okay. I will explain the concept of get to the use effect later. Okay. I will explain this concept. Okay. This use effect concept later. Okay. This is the way. This is the way we are using, right? Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. Let's see. Sorry, we need to return. Sorry, we need to return this one. So this is the way we are getting users, and we use a use fetch effect. User start line, you use the map. Same way we did that. We did any mistake here? Users and user start length greater than 0, then only using users map. So here any mistake is here. Let's see, spell something well. Okay, okay. Sorry. Okay. Don't use the use effect. Okay. We are not using use effect here. Okay. Yes. So we don't use effect here. We're not using use effect. Okay. We are calling the when click the button, I'm calling this user. Here I need to return here. Return this one. I forget this. Okay. Let's see. So initially I don't have any data. Click the share data. I get the data. You got it right? So this is the way how I get the data from URL. Once I click the button, I setting the getting the API call and we can set the users and getting the data, right? Let me. So initially I don't have any data. When I click the button, I calling the URL. Okay. And one more thing, we can test the URL call in this network tab. So let's see. I clear this one. Go to network tab. Okay, and choose the fetch and access tab. Okay. Now see. Initially, I'm not calling any API call. Once I click the button, I click the API call. Am I correct? So I click the button. So API call is here. Call is here. See, you can observe here. So this is the API call. So we can clearly observe. This is the header. This is the response. This is the preview. So, for example, you integrate the API call in our application. Okay, but it's not working. Then you need to check here. You need to debug here. So once the wave API is calling or not, or API data getting correctly or not, we need to check here. In the go to network in the network tab, we need to click on this one. We need to check what the URL. If we get the 200 response, 200, then only we get the response. Okay, clear, right? So this is the way how we get the data from API using the fetch method. Tomorrow I'll explain the access method. Okay. Tomorrow I'll explain the access method. The access is same as fetch, but we need to install the access. I will explain later. So this is the way how we get the data from API. So we get the data from API and we show that in the table. Okay, people clear, right? Any confusion? If people clear, right? Any confusion? Hello. Okay, this is the code. Let's just take the code if you want. I've sent this code also. I will give the this code snippet. Okay, I will give one task. You can track this.